Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. Silver prices have been booming, taking off to say the least. I mean, look at the charts. This is the 1 month chart for silver right now, the 1 week chart, and even the 1 day chart. Silver is up to $22.27 when we saw it as low as 18, saying it could go down to 16, 17. I remember covering an article a couple days ago where they're saying silver might be going down to $16. Regardless, something's happening, and we're about to check out what that is. Now, meantime, China is doing something that is definitely affecting the price of silver. We have to look at this very carefully because this could be something, a reoccurring something that could be pushing silver higher for a lot longer than just a little 4 day, a 4 day rally. Now, we also have to incorporate a lot of other things plus the unknown variables. So when you're going to see people throwing out price forecasts and price predictions, take it with a grain of salt. But I'm just saying that big things are happening. The stars are aligning. The perfect storm is here. The floodgates are opening. When is that going to happen? That initial spark where we talk about triple digit silver? Me personally think it's going to be a couple years from now. Some people say a lot sooner. Regardless though, things are all adding up. And nothing else makes as much sense as silver. So let's look at this article. If you like the video, then please like the video. You definitely want to subscribe. Be in the under 100,000 subscriber club. That's where the OG silver stackers are going to be, because I'm approaching 100,000 sooner than later, and I hope you're here for the ride. Link will be in the description. Let's talk silver. Commodities soar on expectations of Chinese demand. Check this out. Commodities from soybeans to precious metals jumped after China eased some of its restrictions, raising hopes of a demand recovery in the world's second biggest economy. Almost all major commodities traded higher following China's announcement. Now, what is this announcement? Well, first off, let's look at other metals. Right now, gold is at $1,782. Let's look at gold's chart actually. So, look at the 1 month chart for gold, definitely similar to silver. Let's look at platinum. Platinum took a huge plummet over the last week. I mean, look at it. Wait. Oh, maybe that was, was that gold? Oh, that was weird. It looked like it plummeted. But the 3 month chart, similar. So yeah, it looks like all these commodities are following the same type of path. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is even, I know a lot of you don't really care about Bitcoin, but regardless, even Bitcoin is down, getting hit hard, which is kind of interesting because, precious metals and cryptocurrency are similar in a lot of ways, but, it's still digital. And if you can't hold it, you don't own it. Regardless, though, that's where silver's at right now, and other precious metals as well. Now, copper, precious metals, and agricultural commodities from corn to wheat all climbed, and as did shares of companies across the sector. Now, China's loosening of restrictions bolstered a rally that began on Wall Street with risk assets rising after U.S. inflation slowed. Markets interpreted the data as a sign that the U.S. Federal Reserve could slow down its aggressive interest rate hike plans. A gauge of the U.S. dollar's fallen sharply from its annual high, aiding commodities priced in the currency. Now, I tell you guys over and over, people are so interested, so invested, emotionally invested into the micro that they forget the macro. It's like looking at a forest, but all you're focused on is one single tree, and making all of your predictions and assumptions off of that one tree. But in reality, the forest is what changes the land. You got to think of the bigger picture. People see the dollar rising for a week or something, or the Federal Reserve says something, and they say, "Oh, silver's gonna crash. I'm out," or that I knew I was making a bad decision. The dollar's gonna rise forever, right? But then the next week something else happens. It's gonna go up and down, up and down. A lot of people just think when it's going down during that specific time frame that it's gonna go down forever. I don't know why they think that, but a lot of people think when their investments in the red that that's their money they lost. That's not money you lost, just currently it's down, but it's only lost money unless you sell at that point. Because if you hold it for another couple months, it's going to be up. I mean, it's crazy that people look at markets that way. I know if you're newer, it's easier to do that because you haven't really gone through these corrections and these dips and these sell offs. But regardless, just buy and hold. Just buy and hold. You won't have to worry about a dang thing. Fundamentally, the more China can restart its economy, the greater the positive impact on global growth expectations. And that's from Romco Group trading head said. And China said has historically been an exporter of deflationary pressures. And if we see that deflationary force back within the global economy, then the positive impact on commodity prices and assets markets in general could be exceptionally significant in the near term. So, I mean, right now, keyword is a near term, but another keyword is exceptionally significant. I do really like these types of articles because we get to learn a lot about silver alongside with other metals. My biggest thing right now, and this is a perfect example, is talking about silver taking on a life of its own. My name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer, not Gold Guy, not Gold Guru, not Bitcoin Boy, not Bitcoin Bandit, not whatever. Those are all some great names, though. My name is Silver Slayer. And there's a reason for that. I didn't just pick silver out of a hat. Now, I do think, and I mean, I'm very confident on this, hence I've been making videos about silver since 2015. I'm confident that silver will take on a life of its own beyond what gold does. Regardless of what gold does, regardless of what interest rates do, regardless of stock market volatility, silver will take on a life of its own. And right now we can see that situations like this, all metals are going to. But when I'm talking about silver taking on a life of its own, it's not talking about CPI or data or the stock market volatility. We're talking about the fundamentals. And that's why precious metals, physical precious metals, are so important, because it's based more off of the fundamentals. Yes, speculation is always going to be intertwined. I hate that S word, but regardless, if you're investing in things that have actual purpose, see, gold is just used for coins and jewelry, so it's not really purposeful. It doesn't have much use. But silver has the most use, makes the most sense by far, with the most potential. So base metals traded on the LME, which that jumped, with zinc soaring as much as 6.4% and aluminum gaining 5.9%. In the U.S., Chicago soybean futures had the biggest intraday increase in a month. Shares of companies across the commodity industry surged. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening right now. I'll keep you guys updated. Now, you guys know that I like talking about a wide range, a very diverse, amount of things in regarding silver. I don't just like looking at prices or what prices are doing right now. I like giving the data. I looking at the silver supply deficit. I like looking at production. I like looking at where demand is headed over the next 5-10 years. I like looking at all that stuff as well. There's a lot that's going to be happening, but I like to differentiate the financial side, the potential for silver rising, as the dollar loses purchasing power, apart from the shortage, right? We're talking about premiums rising. We're talking about spot price manipulation at that. Silver's price is rigged, manipulated, and until we can, until fundamentals, supply and demand, override manipulation, spot price is always going to stay relatively low. Premiums are still going to rise because premiums aren't attached to price manipulation, because that's what the consumer has to pay for that physical ounce. But they can manipulate and hold down, suppress the price all they want, spot price. But spot price is basically irrelevant if the price you have to pay for an ounce of silver has nothing to do with the price on the screen. Try to find an ounce of silver for $22.25. So why is this number relevant if this is not what we have to pay for silver? It's not relevant. So you got to remember that as the shortage gets worse, meaning premiums rise, that's the real price of silver in my eyes. Even like Citibank last year, they predicted $50 silver. They weren't necessarily wrong. Now, yes, spot price wasn't $50, but there was people selling and buying eagles on Amazon for $50 like hotcakes. So were they necessarily wrong? No. Maybe we're just looking at it. We're using the words differently. We're assuming that $50 coming soon means spot price when in reality it's the price you have to pay. I mean, what's just because it's the word is spot makes a difference? No, we still have to pay that. That still is what the price we have to pay. So why, if it's spot price or a premium, why do those two words matter? What's the difference when that's what we have to pay for an ounce of silver? That's really what it's priced at. Now, yes, spot price will rise. I do see no amount of manipulation is going to override the inevitable collapse of the dollar and the inevitable exposure of the silver shortage, but you still got to remember these things as well. Remember, though, most importantly, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. So, yeah, I mean, right now things are going great. Make sure you subscribe. We are on the path to 70,000 subscribers, and then we'll be at 80, 90, and then 100,000. I'm really excited. That's going to be a huge, huge milestone. Then we're on the path to a million. I mean, it's crazy. I can't thank you all enough. Everything is going great. If you wanted to purchase silver, I highly recommend the company bottom left hand side of the screen. The company's Miles Franklin. Send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Silver Slayer sent you. They're still one of the only authorized dealers that can work with purchase through the U.S. Mint, as the U.S. Mint banned literally everyone else. There's only 5, 6 people, companies, dealers that can still buy eagles and so on so from the U.S. Mint. Nobody else can anymore. But the company in the bottom left-hand corner still can, meaning they can still access eagles and all these coins that you love. And they have exceptionally good prices as well. Plus, building a business relationship with a company like that can be very, very beneficial, especially moving forwards as all these other companies are desperately begging their own customers to buy silver back from them at record high premiums. If the company you're buying from is asking you to sell your silver back to them and they're willing to pay an extremely high price, that is alarming. That's telling. So don't rely on that moving forwards as things get worse. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.